which it ties into what you obviously teach, and what we know about good branding is consistency. There's no point you've got a wonderfully consistent website, and then they get on the program and it's all over the place. It's a mess.
Right.
The payment system's just messy, and emailing back and forth trying to sort out things like that. It's being
Right.
consistent, and I think that's what I was really looking to focus on. Is oftentimes people get a misconception that branding is logo and maybe a color,
Yeah.
a color splash and a font. Tell us from your perspective, your deeper insights into what branding actually is.
Branding is when somebody was standing in line for your product, like me. I was standing in the line all day for an Apple product. That's branding. Branding is when you can connect with the person from the heart, when you can connect with people on the emotional level, when you can connect with people on the spiritual level, when people will save their hard-earned money to work with you. That's branding, because it's not about looking pretty. Yes, that's essential. That's how you position yourself and be great or whatever. But the overall picture of branding is what you stand for, and it's what is your why. People buy into your why, and if your why is strong enough, you build a brand. Just like people buy Tums because they don't buy Tums because he cool. They buy Tums because they know another kid gonna get a pair of shoes. So when you think about the branding is really your why, and will your why have influence, impact, and inspire people on this earth? That's really what branding is all about.
Yeah. And what do you think the biggest misconception about branding is? Now, let's say you engage with a client initially, and they think they've got an idea of what their brand is, and I know about branding. Let's just see what Audria can tell us. But what do you find the biggest misconception is?
Oh, logos. You just a logo lady, or you're just a lady that know how to put colors together, or you just a lady that can give me a really cool website. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if that's what you think a brand is, you need to go right back to the drawing board, because what happens is when people do come to me with that misconception, what I realize is that they're still struggling in those other areas. Strategy, they're still struggling in marketing, they're still struggling in systems. So even though you came to me with the intentions of being pretty, and yes, I can do that, you still don't have a foundation. You still don't have a brand, even with branding elements.
Yeah. So how do you break that client down? Because people are quite passionate about their vision and their little baby. They'd come to you with an idea, and they might have drafted out a logo and have vision statements and whatever. What's the process of breaking that person down to say, look, I hear what you're saying, let's go back? How do you do that?
Education. I love to educate people that come to me. Let me give you a prime example. I had a young lady that contacted us to get branding, and I felt like, okay, we need to make sure everything is cohesive, so why don't you do the program and then get branding? So the way that I break it down is that I let them know, okay, this is what a brand is, and this is where you are. But if we do all of these things, you can have a brand. So I show them the big picture, and then I show them where they are within that picture, and then I show them, okay, if we do this, we can create the picture. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think, in terms of educating the clients, oftentimes that's the biggest winner. Once you can educate them, this is what digital marketing is, this is what branding is,
Right.
This is what your website should be doing, and this is what yours is currently doing.
Exactly.
It's an
Before
easier
and after.
That's it. Yeah, this is where you are now. This is where you could be.
Right.
Yeah, this is where you think you are. This is where you actually are.
And people got the misconception wrong of sales, and how to land the deal. How do you land a $10,000 contract? How do you land a $5,000 contract? One, you meet them where they are. Don't ever make yourself feel like you're superior or you're better than the person that came to you. Two, you make them feel valued, like they are well respected, and that you honor their time, right? And then also, don't be so pushy, so quick to sell. Because a good sales call is a call where they say, how do I get started? Not you saying, hey, you want to get started? Like, if you have to say that, you haven't done enough convincing on that sales call for that person to raise their hand. Because if you educate them enough, they will raise their own hand and say, I'm ready. So sales calls are not, people always teach these selling tactics. You got to, 30 minutes in, you hit them with this, and 14 minutes in, you hit them with that. And I'm like, dude, just tell them where they at. Yeah, and if they want to improve it, then that's what they do. And one thing about me, I've never been a person to push people into anything that I sell. I always let people do it at their free will, because I don't want to work with somebody that I had to push to me to do the work. And if you got to do a lot of tugging, let them people be where they at. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to summarize that, because that's a big takeaway. So how to land a $5K or 10K contracts. Meet them where they are. Let them feel valued.
Yes.
Back off.
Right.
and let them lead. Let them lead. Yeah. So it's almost like you're laying out the stall and saying, look, this is where you are. This is what I offer. Education, education, education. Value, value, value. If they want to buy, it's for sale.
Right. Exactly. And I forgot where I heard it at, but so, just as well as you have to be prepared for the yes, you have to be prepared for the no, and you have to know how many no's do it take to get to the yes. It's kind of like how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop, and it's like, okay, you got to do. I got to have 6 sales calls before I get 1 yes, and then what you work on is your sales conversion. I've had this many calls. If I had 6 calls, why didn't close 6 calls? So you might want to ask yourself, did I follow up? Did I provide them with enough information? Was I too salesy? Did I allow that person time to think about the investment? Was it worth it? I mean, it's a lot of different variables, to think about.
So how much time would you invest in a potential client? You've got that lead, they're shown some interest. How much time would you invest in them?
30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm able to land a deal like that in 30 minutes because I pre-educate and pre-qualify. Pre-educate is in the form of free existing content. So like my podcast, my blog, interviews like this, different things like this. This is pre-educating my client. So the second thing is to pre-qualify. If I pre-qualify you, then I'm able to see, are you able to afford what I'm even talking about? Because I don't want to waste my time. I don't get on the phone just to have fun talk about your brand. Like, can you afford to move forward? And it's one of those things where I have on my website, and I have these like special URL set up. If you go to the URL, I pre-qualify you by asking certain questions. And typically people that be like, oh, I have no marketing budget, but I'm ready to get ready now. I'm ready to get started. Now, it's certain questions based on certain answers where I'm like, nah, I'm not getting on the phone with you. And every time I've ever went against that, I've always regretted it. So I know based on how I feel, like, okay, this person is worth getting on the phone with. And so far, with having this pre-qualification process, I've been able to get a really high conversion rate, So, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that the no is almost as important as the yes. For you to be willing to say, well, it's not working, or it's you're not ready for this yet. I mean, how do you break that to a client if someone's looking like they're interested and they want to work with you, but you're like, it's not really gonna work? How do you break that to them? just straight like that.
I mean, like, if you sugarcoat it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, you're not doing a good job in the sense, if you ask me, because it's like, if somebody come to me and they're like, man, I'm ready to do it, I'm ready to do it, I'm ready to do it, I can ask them like 5 questions that'll hurry up and shut them down, where they be like, you know what, I'm not ready myself, And these questions are so powerful because they have to think beyond right now. They have to think beyond this very moment. They have to think beyond how much money they got in their account right now. Yeah. And my questions challenge you to think big. So if you don't think big, don't call me. Sorry, because I'm looking for people. And let me just say this. The reason I can say this and I can be so bold and I can step into this place is because I know the type of client that I want to serve. And the reason that people are so unsure and they can't close deals and they can't close sales because they're on the phone with all these people they don't even know that they want to serve. I know that the person I want to serve are looking to rebrand or start a brand. So if you're not in those categories, what we talking for? I know that, you know. So that means you got to know who you serving.
Yeah. So being very clear about who your target market is and the products and services you've got to offer to them.
And don't deviate from it. Because I see a lot of people meet people that their programs weren't designed for, and then they'll meet a client, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't really need that, I just need that part. And they start to break away their system to serve one person. Let them go. Let them be on their way. Only work with people that satisfy you, and you can satisfy. And y'all can mutually have something and build something together.
Yeah, yeah. I think the challenge is, though, for a new startup, for a new entrepreneur, is to see the money walk away. You know, you've got this lead. It might be the first lead you've had for a few months.
Yeah. I think that's the no. That's the no I was talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
just let it go.
When you don't have any money, of course, the best thing to do, especially, you know, whatever your situation is, man, I can't just work with I'll work with anybody. If you got a check, I'll take it. You know, when you're hungry and desperate like that, guess what? The clients can sense that. And what they do is they're gonna haggle you. They're gonna make you feel less than. They're gonna be like, well, he really needs this $1,000, so let me see what I can get for this $1,000. You know, so
squeeze every penny out of you.
Exactly. So you have to be picky. I feel like just as much as a client can be picky about a coach can be just as picky about a client.
Yeah.
But we feel like we feel like because we offer this service, we just have to just take anybody that want it.
Yeah.